And 13 News at 5 begins with breaking news. In the last 20 minutes, we have learned President Trump's proposed tariffs on Canada will be postponed by at least 30 days.
This is a developing story, and the latest is according to Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Trudeau says that President Trump and he agreed to postpone after promising more cooperation along the Canadian border.
This is a similar agreement the president reached with Mexico this morning.
But the tax on the imports from China are expected to go into effect tomorrow as of now. So tonight we're helping you understand the impact the tariffs tomorrow or potentially in the future could have on you and your checking account.
And we're talking about the things that you rely on every day, from food and drinks to fuel and energy, as well as cars, steel, lumber, electronics, home appliances, and even your toys.
It's a long list, so we wanted to know how these tariffs could potentially impact you if they're imposed.
Karen Campbell spent the day looking into it, and she joins us to explain what we can expect to see happen tomorrow or in the future. Karen, this is wide-reaching.
Yeah, well, President Trump's tariffs could impact all of us, right? You, me, the consumer, on everything we buy. We just saw a list there of some of the things that could impact us. And I spoke with an economist who says there are two scenarios here. One that could actually benefit Indiana regarding these tariffs, and one that could lead to inflation. President Donald Trump has vowed to impose 25% tariffs on items from Canada and Mexico and 10% on products from China. Canada's Prime Minister striking back, announcing a 25% retaliatory tariff on U.S. goods.
If tariffs stay in place a long time, that's going to increase the price that we pay for everything we get from these trading partners.
Indiana University Kelley School of Business professor Phil Powell says that's because U.S. importers pay fees or a tax when their shipments arrive and are likely to pass on some of the costs. The list includes cars, lumber, food, beer and alcohol, electronics, home appliances, and more. According to the Indiana Manufacturers Association, Canada is Indiana's biggest trading partner, representing 27% of the state's total goods exports. In a statement to 13 News, the association said tariffs will impact this critical industry. Powell says there is another option that could benefit Indiana.
And if these tariffs are on the books for just a few weeks, or even just a couple of months, and there's some really good deals that are made, then the tariffs will reverse themselves, and Indiana exporters will actually have a stronger market position in the long run.
Powell says businesses could have access to markets they didn't have before, and it will take time before any impacts could be felt by Hoosiers. Well, Powell says Hoosiers are understandably concerned about the potential impacts on everyday items. But again, he's hoping the White House can strike a deal and negotiations can go through, meaning there will be not much of an impact on Hoosiers' wallets.
Yeah, well, time will tell.
Exactly.
All right, Karen, thanks so much. In the meantime, on this very issue, local businesses are getting ready for what potentially these tariffs could bring for them and their customers over the months to come.
A ripple-down effect. Our Samantha Johnson stopped by a popular liquor store here in Indy and shares their advice for you.
The folks here at Conn's Fine Wines and Spirits say prices will go up on things like Canadian whiskey and tequilas from Mexico, but they say customers won't see that price increase right away.
First, what we have to do is get rid of the supply that's already in the States. Once that supply is gone and the new supply comes from either Canada or Mexico, that's when the increase in tariffs will happen and the pricing will go into effect.
And that could take 3 to 6 months.
Crown Royal, Canada's largest exports for whiskey, will definitely be impacted. Either $35, $36 a bottle for the regular. That's $6 more.
And for some goods, experts say finding alternatives is easier said than done.
There is no substitute for tequila. Tequila is tequila. It can only be called tequila because it comes from tequila.
So Conn's wants its customers to know,
if you see a price increase, it's because the price went up to us. And that's with us making the same amount of money.
So you've got a couple options. Stock up now.
Yes, please. Please.
Wait it out or settle for cheaper domestic options once those tariff prices do take effect. In Indianapolis, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
You'll also feel the impact of these tariffs when you go to fill up the car with gasoline.
So you may have noticed that prices under $3 as you drove to work or back home today. But if the president's tariffs on Canada go into effect in the future, well, you'll likely see gas prices here in the Midwest start to rise.
That's because most Canadian oil is shipped to refineries in the Midwest, including those here in Indiana, through a pipeline. Don't forget, you can always find the lowest gas prices across central Indiana through a link on our website.
Yeah, we'll help you. Just check out WTHR.com/gas prices.